Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling one of the most important and controversial questions in global politics right now. Has Vladimir Putin finally met his match in Donald Trump? And could a second Trump presidency bring an end to the war in Ukraine? It's a bold claim, but increasingly political insiders and analysts are pointing to Trump's unique mix of leverage, negotiation strategy, and sheer unpredictability as possible ingredients for one thing the world desperately needs: peace. This video is not about picking sides. It's about examining the facts, the stakes, and the strategies at play, and asking the tough question: is Trump the only leader who can strike a deal with Putin where others have failed? Let's dig in. Chapter 1: Trump's Peace Gambit. Real or rhetoric? Donald Trump has said publicly that if elected, he could bring the war in Ukraine to an end within 24 hours. That statement has been met with equal parts applause and skepticism. But his supporters argue that there's reason to believe him. You see, Trump isn't a traditional politician. He doesn't play by the usual diplomatic rules. And that, his base argues, is exactly why he might succeed where others have only prolonged the conflict. Now, Trump has floated a major policy proposal imposing 100% tariffs on all Russian energy exports if a peace agreement isn't reached within 50 days. That's not just economic pressure, it's a high-stakes ultimatum, and if carried through, it would hit Moscow hard and hit fast. It's a power move, one that aims not just to punish Russia, but to force Putin back to the negotiating table. But why 50 days? Why not now? According to Trump's allies, the answer lies in strategy. They believe giving Russia a short, clear deadline sets up two possibilities. Either Putin backs down, or the full weight of Western economic firepower lands on his doorstep. No ambiguity, no room to maneuver, just consequences. Chapter 2: Trump versus Biden, a tale of two doctrines. To understand why Trump's approach feels so different, we have to look at the current administration. President Joe Biden has taken a more traditional stance, sending billions in aid, rallying NATO allies, but stopping short of truly shaking the foundations of Russia's war economy. His critics say his actions, while well-meaning, have lacked strength and clarity. Let's not forget, the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan was seen by many around the world as a major foreign policy failure. The loss of life, the panic at Kabul airport, and the global perception of U.S. retreat sent a clear signal to adversaries. America was distracted, divided, and weak. Soon after, Biden declined to impose sanctions on Nord Stream 2, a Russian gas pipeline that many in Congress saw as a geopolitical time bomb. And when he stood at the podium and said that a minor incursion into Ukraine might be tolerated, it was interpreted by some as a green light to Putin. All of this, Trump supporters argue, created the conditions for invasion. They say that under a Trump presidency, the war never would have started in the first place. Chapter 3: Trump's Negotiating Edge, Fact or Fiction. Now here's the core question: can Donald Trump actually make a deal with Putin? Trump's critics say he's all talk. They point to his history of praising strongmen like Putin and question whether he's truly willing to stand up to Russia. But his supporters offer a different interpretation. They say Trump's rapport with Putin isn't weakness, it's leverage. They believe Trump knows how to handle authoritarian leaders, that he understands the psychology of negotiation, the importance of ego, and the power of calculated pressure. And it's not just about Trump's attitude. It's also about the tools he's willing to use. Beyond sanctions, Trump has reportedly secured verbal commitments from EU and NATO allies to cover the full cost of advanced U.S. weapons systems for Ukraine should peace talks break down. That's a major shift, offloading financial burden from the U.S. while keeping the pressure on Russia. If true, that could be a game changer. Chapter 4. A New Europe. Stronger but still vulnerable. One key piece of this puzzle is Europe itself. While NATO has grown more unified since the invasion of Ukraine, many European economies are still deeply vulnerable, especially when it comes to energy. The transition to net zero policies, while environmentally noble, has left parts of Europe dangerously exposed. As manufacturing declines and energy prices rise, there's real concern that Europe could face long-term economic instability. Trump's team argues that peace isn't just about diplomacy. It's about helping Europe rebuild its strength, including cheap, reliable energy. Without it, they say, Europe can't stand on its own. And that makes peace and independence much harder to achieve. Chapter 5. The stakes are sky high. Let's be clear. This war has already cost thousands of lives. Ukrainian cities have been destroyed. Russian families have lost sons and daughters. And the risk of escalation, whether into neighboring countries or into a wider conflict involving NATO, is real. That's why Trump's urgency resonates with many Americans. There's a growing sentiment that this isn't America's war. That while we should support peace, we should avoid getting dragged into another foreign entanglement. From that viewpoint, Trump's plan isn't about isolation. It's about prioritizing peace through pressure, not boots on the ground. And in a world where diplomacy seems to be failing, many are willing to consider a different kind of leadership, one that breaks the mold. Conclusion: what happens next? So, has Putin truly met his match in Trump? It's too soon to say. We are still in the middle of this story. No one knows how it ends. But one thing is clear. If Donald Trump returns to the White House, the calculus changes. The tone shifts. The options on the table may look very different from what we're seeing today. His path to peace may not be pretty. It may not follow the traditional rules. But for some, it might be the only path left that still has a chance of success. What do you think? Can Trump deliver a peace deal where others have failed? Or is this just political theater with no real outcome? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this analysis valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into global power, diplomacy, and leadership in a changing world. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and stay informed.